Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a bold truth. Age is not the end of vitality, giving up is. Too many men surrender their strength, energy, and confidence simply because time has passed. But what if the key to reigniting your inner fire isn't found in expensive treatments or complicated routines, but in something as simple as a single daily habit? For years, many have accepted fatigue, weakness, and low drive as normal. They believed that once you cross a certain age, your body slowly shuts down. But that belief is a myth. Your body is remarkably intelligent. It responds when you give it the right tools. And recently, a simple yet powerful addition has changed everything. A natural vitamin, dissolved in daily water, has begun to restore strength and vitality that was once thought lost forever. This isn't a magic pill, it's the science of nourishment, working with your body, not against it. Think about it, water is life. Every cell thrives on it. So when you infuse it with the right nutrients, you're not just drinking, you're fueling transformation. Energy flows more freely. Blood circulation improves. Hormones begin to balance naturally. And slowly, strength, stamina, and confidence make their return like a sunrise after a long night. I've witnessed men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s, begin to stand taller, feel younger, and live bolder, simply because they chose to support their bodies instead of surrendering to decline. They didn't rely on shortcuts. They made one small, consistent change, and their lives shifted. This is your reminder, it's never too late. Whether you're 40 or 73, your body is waiting for your signal to rebuild. That signal begins with your decision. Age is not a barrier, it's a mindset. The way you think about your body shapes the way your body responds. Far too often, people convince themselves that aging means decline, weakness, and limitations. They start to believe that once they cross a certain age, their best days are behind them. This belief silently chips away at their confidence, energy, and hope. But the truth is, age doesn't define your potential, your mindset does. When you decide to view age not as a wall, but as a doorway to a new chapter of strength, everything changes. It begins with your internal conversation. When you look in the mirror each morning, what do you tell yourself? Do you focus on what you lost, or on what you still have the power to build? Those thoughts are not meaningless. They shape your hormones, your motivation, and your daily actions. The human mind is powerful. It can either drain your energy or ignite it. People who see themselves as old start living like it. They walk slower, they take fewer chances, they stop challenging their bodies, and eventually their bodies follow their lead. But those who see age as a number, not a limit, keep growing, keep moving, and keep thriving. Your body is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally, waiting for you to give it permission to adapt and evolve. Cells regenerate, muscles can strengthen, and energy can return when you send the right signals. The key is shifting from a mindset of decline to a mindset of possibility. Imagine two men at the age of 73. One wakes up each day thinking, I'm too old for this. He avoids activity, eats without purpose, and accepts fatigue as fate. The other wakes up and says, I may be older, but I'm not done yet. He chooses to walk, to stretch, to nourish his body, and to keep learning. Over time, these two mindsets create two entirely different realities. Science backs this up. Studies show that people who maintain a positive view of aging live longer, recover faster, and have higher energy levels than those who believe decline is inevitable. Their bodies literally respond to their beliefs. It's not about pretending you're 20 again, it's about respecting your current stage while refusing to let it define your limits. The moment you start thinking of yourself as capable, your brain starts producing the motivation to act accordingly. Motivation leads to movement, movement leads to better circulation, better hormone balance, and ultimately, a stronger body. Mindset is the spark that lights the fire of transformation. If you constantly tell yourself you're too old, your body will agree. But if you tell yourself, I still have more in me, your body will rise to the challenge. This is why some people in their 70s have more energy, vitality, and presence than people decades younger. They never allowed age to become their identity. They treat their years as a badge of experience, not a sentence of decline. Every wrinkle tells a story of resilience. Every gray hair carries wisdom. Instead of using these signs as reminders of what's fading, use them as proof of everything you survived and accomplished. Let them remind you that you adapted before, and you can adapt again. The number on your birth certificate doesn't control your strength, your mindset does. When you stop seeing age as a countdown and start seeing it as an opportunity to thrive with deeper awareness, your energy begins to shift. You walk with more confidence. You make choices that support your vitality. You stop waiting for life to happen and start living it intentionally. The mind is the command center of your entire body. It influences your nervous system, your hormonal responses, and your daily behavior. When you cultivate a mindset that refuses to be defined by age, you send a powerful message to every cell in your body. Keep going, keep growing, keep thriving. Small daily actions create big transformations. Many people imagine that change has to come from some massive, dramatic event, a complete lifestyle overhaul, a complicated routine, or an expensive treatment. But in reality, the most powerful changes come from the quiet, consistent habits that build momentum over time. Transformation doesn't happen in a single day. It happens in the everyday moments when you choose to do something that supports your body and mind. It's the glass of water with added nutrients you drink each morning, the 5-minute walk after dinner, the decision to stretch before bed, or the choice to think positively when negativity tries to creep in. These actions may seem small at first, almost insignificant, but they hold the power to reshape your health and energy in ways that surprise you. The human body thrives on consistency. It doesn't need perfection, it needs signals, daily reminders that you are nurturing it, supporting it, and giving it reasons to function at its best. When you repeat a healthy action over and over again, your body begins to adapt. Cells regenerate more efficiently, circulation improves, energy production increases, and your internal systems align with your new rhythm. What starts as a single decision begins to compound, like drops of water that eventually fill a bucket. Over weeks and months, these little actions stack together to create a noticeable difference in how you feel, move, and laugh. Think about how habits shape your life right now. Every pattern you follow, whether positive or negative, started as a small choice. Skipping a healthy routine once doesn't seem like a big deal, but doing it repeatedly becomes a habit. The same works the other way around. Adding a small beneficial action into your daily schedule may not feel life-changing on day one, but over time, it becomes second nature. It's like planting a seed. You don't see the results immediately, but with daily watering, sunlight, and care, the seed grows roots, sprouts, and eventually becomes something strong and flourishing. There's a certain power in simplicity. People often get overwhelmed when they think they have to change everything at once. They try to adopt intense workout plans, strict diets, or complicated health routines, and within weeks, they burn out. The truth is, lasting transformation thrives on manageable, repeatable steps. It's about doing something small but meaningful every day, even on the days you don't feel like it. When you make these actions simple enough, excuses fade and discipline builds naturally. Small daily actions also build self-trust. Each time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you send a message to your mind, I keep my word. Over time, this builds confidence and momentum. You stop doubting your ability to change because you've proven to yourself, day after day, that you can show up. This is how people who once felt stuck begin to move forward steadily. They don't wait for motivation to strike like lightning, they create it through repeated action. These consistent habits don't just affect the physical body, they shape the mind as well. The brain thrives on routine. When you repeatedly engage in small, healthy behaviors, your brain starts to crave them. Neural pathways strengthen, making the behavior easier to repeat. What once required effort becomes automatic. It's like learning to ride a bike. The beginning takes focus, but eventually, it becomes second nature. Consider something as simple as drinking water with added vitamins each morning. It takes less than a minute, yet it begins to support hydration, nutrient absorption, and energy levels throughout the day. Or think about taking a few minutes to walk every evening. Over time, this small step improves circulation, boosts mood, and helps regulate sleep. None of these actions are overwhelming on their own, but together, practiced daily, they build a foundation of vitality that grows stronger with time. The beauty of small actions is that they bypass resistance. When something is simple and quick, it's harder to make excuses not to do it. And once you start, momentum takes over. One healthy action leads to another, and slowly, your entire lifestyle begins to shift. It doesn't require perfection, just commitment to the process, one step at a time, one day at a time. Your body responds when you take the lead. It is constantly listening, adapting, and reacting to the signals you give it through your thoughts, habits, and daily choices. Every breath, every movement, every nutrient you provide is a message to your system. The human body is not passive, it is dynamic, intelligent, and capable of incredible regeneration when you give it direction. When you sit back and wait for change to happen, nothing shifts. But the moment you take deliberate action even in small ways, your body begins to reorganize itself to support the path you've chosen. Think of your body as a highly responsive machine. If you feed it poor fuel, leave it idle, and ignore maintenance, it will slow down and weaken. But if you supply it with the right fuel, keep it active, and provide consistent care, it starts to perform at its best. Blood flow improves, muscles strengthen, hormone levels balance, and energy levels rise. All of this begins when you decide to step forward and lead. Your body is designed to follow your lead. It mirrors your commitment. If you neglect it, it reflects neglect. If you nurture it, it responds with strength and vitality. Too often, people underestimate how quickly the body can adapt once they make a conscious decision. For years, they may have fallen into habits of inactivity or unhealthy patterns, convincing themselves that change would take forever. But once they start taking action, even small ones, their bodies begin to respond surprisingly fast. Improved sleep, better digestion, sharper focus, increased stamina. These shifts happen because the body recognizes the new direction and adjusts accordingly. It doesn't require perfection, just consistency and a clear signal that you're serious about taking care of it. Leadership over your body isn't about forcing it, it's about guiding it. Your body doesn't need extreme measures. It needs steady, intelligent direction. When you make decisions like staying hydrated, moving your body daily, nourishing yourself with essential vitamins and minerals, and practicing good rest, you're essentially saying to your body, I'm in charge, and I choose health. In response, your body begins to allocate its resources more efficiently. It prioritizes repair, strengthens weak areas, and enhances functions that may have been sluggish for years. The connection between your mind and body plays a major role in this process. When you mentally decide to take charge, your brain starts releasing signals that influence every system from your nervous system to your immune response. If you constantly tell yourself you're tired, weak, or too old, your brain will create a physiological environment that matches those thoughts. But when you shift that internal dialogue to one of leadership and responsibility, your brain initiates processes that support vitality. Hormones like dopamine and serotonin increase, motivation strengthens, and you feel more capable of maintaining new habits. This is why passive waiting never works. Waiting for energy to magically return, for health to improve on its own, or for motivation to suddenly appear leads to frustration and stagnation. The body responds to action, not hesitation. When you start drinking more water, your cells hydrate and your energy levels rise. When you begin light exercise, your circulation improves and your muscles activate. When you provide essential nutrients daily, your body uses them to restore what's been lacking. These responses are built into your biology, waiting to be triggered by your decisions. Taking the lead also involves listening to your body's feedback. As you make changes, your body communicates through sensations, energy shifts, and performance. If something doesn't feel right, you adjust. If something works well, you reinforce it. This dialogue creates a partnership between your mind and body where you are the leader, and your body is the responsive system ready to follow. When you treat your body with attention and intention, it rewards you with strength, clarity, and vitality. Many people reach a turning point in their lives when they realize that no external solution can replace their own leadership. No supplement, program, or advice can work unless they decide to act on it. Once that decision is made, the body responds almost like it's been waiting all along. It begins to heal, strengthen, and adapt because it finally has a clear direction. Reclaim your power, don't surrender to time. As the years pass, many people slowly give away their strength without even realizing it. They start to accept fatigue, weakness, and decline as if these are inevitable and unchangeable. They adjust their lives around limitations instead of challenging them. They avoid activities they once loved, they make excuses for slowing down, and eventually, they begin to see themselves as powerless in the face of aging. But the truth is, the moment you surrender your power, time takes over. The body follows the mind's lead, and if the mind decides to give up, the body will comply. Reclaiming your power begins with refusing to let age define what you can and cannot do. Time may change the way your body functions, but it does not erase your ability to adapt, grow, and strengthen. Every day you wake up is a new chance to take back control, to challenge the beliefs that hold you back, and to choose action over resignation. When you stop viewing time as a thief and start seeing it as a teacher, you unlock a new level of resilience. Age is not an ending, it's a stage where your choices matter even more. Many people underestimate how much control they actually have over their physical and mental vitality. While it's true that the body changes with age, it's equally true that these changes can be influenced, slowed down, or even reversed through intentional action. Muscles can be rebuilt, hormones can be balanced, circulation can be improved, and energy can be restored when you decide not to accept decline as your story. This doesn't happen by chance, it happens through a mindset that refuses to surrender. Surrendering to time often starts subtly. It might begin with skipping daily walks because I'm not as young as I used to be. It might continue with accepting stiffness as normal or ignoring signs of imbalance. Over time, these small moments of surrender accumulate, leading to a gradual decline in strength, energy, and confidence. But the body is not failing, it's simply responding to neglect. When you reclaim your power, you interrupt this cycle. You begin to send your body new instructions that say, I'm still here, and I'm not done. Your power is not found in denying the reality of aging but in mastering how you respond to it. This mastery comes from awareness and deliberate choices. When you choose to nourish your body, to move with purpose, to think with strength, and to maintain consistency, you create an environment where vitality thrives despite time's passing. People who remain strong and active into their 70s and 80s are not exceptions of luck. They are examples of what happens when you refuse to give away control. They recognize that aging is real but so is their ability to influence how they experience it. This reclamation also happens on a mental level. Time has a way of planting doubts, whispers that tell you it's too late, that decline is unavoidable, that the best years are behind you. If you listen to these whispers long enough, they become your reality. Reclaiming your power means shutting down those narratives and replacing them with truth. The human body is capable of transformation at any age. New cells are formed every day, muscles respond to resistance, the brain grows through learning, and circulation improves with movement. These biological facts don't disappear after a certain birthday, they remain available as long as you choose to engage them. Strength is not just physical, it's psychological. When you decide not to surrender to time, your posture changes, your energy shifts, and your perspective widens. You stop measuring yourself against who you were 20 years ago and start focusing on what you can build today. That shift in perspective empowers you to act instead of accept, to lead instead of follow, and to grow instead of shrink. This is where true vitality begins, not in denying time, but in standing strong despite it. Every day presents a choice, surrender a little more, or reclaim a little more. The body listens carefully to the decision you make. When you reclaim your power, you reignite the drive that has always been within you. You remind yourself that strength is earned through action, not age, and that the years behind you don't determine the quality of the years ahead.